Hello people of the interwebs and surrounding universes. It's your host here, Emily B, back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am so excited that you're here. I hope you'll stay a while. If you're interested in following me on my other social medias, my Twitter and Instagram are both at Earthenem. So if you want to see other types of content and posts from me, then check me out on those platforms as well. Now, with all the formalities out of the way, let's talk about this story. Today we're going to be reading over a story that I thought was very interesting. As the title insinuates, we're going to be talking about a transgender teenager whose mother wants to harvest her daughter's sperm. This particular post by the Telegraph caught my eye, and I wanted to read it over with you guys and discuss kind of my thoughts on the situation and hear your all's opinions in the comments. The mother of a transgender teenager is planning to launch a landmark legal case to preserve her daughter's frozen sperm so she can have a grandchild. Louise Anderson wants to go to the highest civil court in Scotland after learning that samples saved by her 16-year-old daughter Ellie, who died suddenly in July, could be thrown out in days. Ellie was born a boy but identified as a girl from the age of 3 and planned to have gender reassignment surgery once she turned 18. She delayed taking hormone blockers to allow her sperm to be collected and retained so she could eventually have a baby. But the teenager from Stirling suddenly fell ill in July and died in the hospital. The cause of her death is described as unascertained. Her 45-year-old mother now wants to use the frozen sperm sample to have a grandchild by finding a donor egg and surrogate mother. She said Ellie's greatest wish was to be a mother, and she would do everything possible to honor it. At first, when I read the title, it kind of put me off because I thought it was maybe going to be one of those stories where it was kind of exploitative. I don't know how the logistics of exploiting the use of someone else's sperm donation would go, but that's just where my mind went to. You just hear so many stories about transgender people being victimized and exploited. I thought maybe this woman was going to be using her daughter's sperm donations against the daughter's will, something to that effect. It's kind of a weird dynamic and interesting situation because the child who died, her mother, would basically end up being the mother figure to her grandchildren. Under the UK's human fertilization laws, if Ellie had been in a relationship at the time of her death, her partner would have had the right to ask for her sperm to be retained. But that right cannot be transferred to her mother without a ruling from the Court of Session. Miss Anderson said Ellie's biggest desire was to be a mother, following her transition. At the young age of 14, we went through the process of freezing her sperm to follow her dreams. She made it clear from the outset that should anything happen to her, I was to fulfill my promise of bringing her children into the world. To go through the trials of freezing your sperm or eggs for them to be callously destroyed despite your wishes is inhumane. Her death was devastating beyond words, but not being able to carry out her wishes is heartbreaking too. She said her daughter wanted 2 children and had even chosen names for them. I'm just gonna give my thoughts on this whole situation. So obviously it doesn't involve me. It's not something that I am personally invested in any sort of way. I do agree that it would be inhumane to not save the sperm sample until a court ruled whether it was just for the mom to get the sperm sample or whether it would be better for it to be destroyed. But when a child at the age of 14 gets a sperm sample for their future children, they are obviously thinking ahead. They are thinking ahead about having children. She wanted to be a mother, and that is obvious because she went through the entire process before she even transitioned so that she could have that opportunity. A lot of transgender people do not want to wait to start hormone therapy. They don't want to wait to start their transition because it can cause dysphoria to continue to have a lower pitched voice or a higher pitched voice or any of these gender marking characteristics. So the fact that Ellie waited to even start her hormone therapy or her transition until she could get a sperm sample so that she could have future children, that just makes me think that she was dead set on becoming a parent in the future. And this law saying that the partner of the deceased person would have a right to choose is understandable if Ellie had been an adult. But Ellie passed away at the age of 16. Even if she had a partner, even if she had a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they probably wouldn't be the best person to make that decision either. I don't necessarily think if I had had a partner at the age of 16 and they passed away and I was left with the responsibility of carrying on their bloodline quite literally, I don't know if I would have made the right call for the person that I had been in partnership with. I don't know if, say, I had been Ellie's girlfriend, if I would want to have the responsibility of going through the whole process of getting her sperm into a surrogate mother and having those kids, because her partner probably would have been 16 or around that same age, a literal teenager. So I think in this case, because the deceased person was underage, she was a minor, the decision of whether her sperm should be retained or destroyed should realistically fall on her mother. Ellie's not here to make the decision for herself. And that is devastating and very unfortunate that she got ill and passed away. But if her vocalized one deep down wish was to become a mother, and her mom has the opportunity to do that for her and carry on this wish that her daughter had, then it's a no-brainer to me. I don't see why it's even a question of law or morality. But I do think that there should be some sort of pardon to include parents in certain situations. And I just feel like it would be a beautiful experience for this woman to be able to see bits and pieces of Ellie in these kids if she's able to keep the sperm and have a surrogate pregnancy. And that's obviously what this girl wanted, because she expressed that even when she wasn't expecting to die. The article states that the mother is trying to get some sort of legal pardon to basically force the fertility clinic to keep the sperm sample until legal proceedings are done with. Because I suppose in this country and in most other countries that after a person is deceased, no partner or spouse comes to say that they want to retain the sperm sample until further notice, then I guess they're just thrown out, incinerated, and destroyed. And I believe it would be a huge injustice if her sperm sample was thrown out and wasted until some sort of legal case was had to determine whether the mother could have access to it. Alright guys, that's the article. I know it was a short one today. I just wanted to kind of read over a bit of that and get your all's opinion on it, because to me, it's a clear-cut answer. But to you guys, it may be different. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like this video because it helps me out with the algorithm and we trying to beat the bots in this house. Alrighty guys, enough of my corniness. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time guys, much love.